To all the crazy people on social media calling her every name under the sun because she chose to play in Indiana. These are the same people that are like, oh, she'll never play in Indiana for obvious reasons, and she went and defended the Indiana fans and was like talking about she was basically like talking positively about the fans that were interacting with her positively, and was responding to one of the crazy posts about her being like, I'm getting screenshots of things you were saying about me. Can you just...
Caitlin Clark and Indiana Fever fans were causing a stir, but Bonner shut it down completely with just one tweet.
WNBA offseason a lot of dumbass narratives, right? It really did. And I hope they're gone for good. And I hope we spend so much less time discussing nonsense. But I think we've seen it stamped out this offseason. And one of those narratives was people wouldn't want to go to the Fever because of the Fever.
Picture this. Bonner is scrolling through her phone, probably sipping on some coffee, when she comes across the usual noise. Fans criticizing her for signing with Indiana, haters claiming no one wants to play for the Fever, and so-called experts still clinging to the same tired narrative. But instead of brushing it off, Bonner decided to shut it down. She didn't just respond. She completely dismantled that weak argument with the precision of one of her signature shot blocks.
Well, I don't get on here often because this app is insanely too much sometimes. I just want to say thank you. Thank you for all the love I've received so far. Deaf, not unnoticed. The love is real.
I don't get on here often because this app is too much sometimes, but thank you for all the love. It hasn't gone unnoticed. The love is real. Her tweet was gold. She didn't just defend herself, she backed Indiana Fever fans too. Bonner basically said, "Y'all are passionate and real. That's not toxic. That's true fandom." Then she called out the double standard. Why is it support when other fan bases do it, but different when Indiana does? Make it make sense.
Gone online for 2 times. One is to call out the crazy people attacking her right now because she joined the Fever.
Fever fans are probably starving for that. And I think seeing the validation of the players choosing their team.
Here's why this matters. Bonner isn't just some rookie chasing headlines. She's a champion, a legend, and a walking bucket. When she speaks, the whole league listens. This isn't just a player venting online, it's a respected leader calling out the nonsense. She's seen it all in the WNBA and isn't afraid to say what everyone's been thinking.
It's funny because if you're seeing like DeWanna Bonner, if you're seeing like Natasha Howard, on social media, Natasha Howard's posts are getting 100 times more likes, and DeWanna Bonner's being reacted more positively probably than she ever has been in her career. Right.
But here's the plot twist. Her tweet wasn't just about the fans. Bonner put the entire league on notice. She made it clear that Indiana isn't just a team trying to stay relevant with Caitlin Clark leading the charge. The Fever are building something special, and Bonner is all in. She's not just joining a team, she's joining a movement.
Be an olive branch to us all to focus on the basketball. But I did think it was worth sharing simply because I know a lot of those fans, the new fans, felt rejected and beaten down a lot. And I think this is symbolic.
And guess what? The response has been huge. Fans are rallying behind her. Fever supporters are louder than ever, and even players from other teams are showing love. The narrative has completely flipped.
No argument that the Fever are a great basketball destination. That Caitlin Clark is a great basketball.
Now, all those haters who claim no one wanted to play for Indiana are backtracking, acting like they never said a thing. Meanwhile, Bonner, Caitlin Clark, and the Fever are locking in, gearing up for what's next. And spoiler alert, it's going to be legendary.
My 11-year career, I've never experienced the racial comments from the Indiana Fever fan base. We had her face on a serious matter that happened in this world, and it's unacceptable, honestly. And there's no place for it, and we've been professional throughout the whole entire thing, but I've never been called the things that I've been called on social media.
You've probably heard about the so-called Indiana Fever fan controversy, but do you really know the full story? It all started when Alyssa Thomas, Bonner's own wife, stirred the pot. She claimed Fever fans were so intense that players were avoiding the team like it was some kind of basketball wasteland.
Fever fan base being painted with this broad brushstroke was always just stupid, really. There's no other word for it, because Caitlin Clark brought more fans to the league than it's ever seen. So many of them are Fever fans, and the new fans that come in outnumber the old fans that were already there. You don't want to tell those people they're
Here's the plot twist. Despite all the noise, star players are lining up to join the Fever. DeWanna Bonner, Natasha Howard, certified WNBA stars, saw the toxic fan base claims and still said, "Sign me up." Now, let's talk facts. Fever fan engagement is skyrocketing, sold-out arenas, merch flying off the shelves, and social media buzzing nonstop. This fan base isn't toxic, it's electric. And then there's Caitlin Clark. She's not just making waves, she's a tsunami. She's turning casual fans into diehards. The Fever went from overlooked to the hottest ticket in town. Make it make sense.
Fans, I think, felt unwelcome as a result of that, because when you look at every sport and every fan base, there are going to be bad apples. With every group of people, there are. And the larger that group becomes, of course, then the larger the small percentage of bad apples are. But if you've ever followed sports, you see people acting stupid online or even live.
So, what's really going on here? Is the Fever fan base as bad as a few salty players claim? Absolutely not. Every team has a few bad apples. That's just sports. But they don't define the culture. This fan base is passionate, and that passion is exactly what's fueling the Fever's rise.
It is, if you're good and you're playing well, it's great to be a Fever. If you're playing badly, it is the worst place you can be. And if you're a WNBA player, you've got to be able to handle it.
Why are star players suddenly flocking to Indiana? Simple, they see the vision. They know what's brewing in that front office. Maybe it's the chance to win, maybe it's the endorsements, or maybe, just maybe, they've realized that Indiana Fever fans aren't the problem. They're the backbone of something special.
Natasha Howard, it was very clear that that potential for stardom, which she never had in her career, no matter how good she's been, outweighed any potential downsides of playing for the Fever. And then for DeWanna Bonner, she had all those connections to Indiana, she had connections to Steph.
The WNBA landscape is shifting, and Indiana is right at the center of it. So to the haters, keep talking, because while you're busy tweeting, the Fever are busy winning. Think about it. If the Fever's fan base was really that bad, would top-tier players be lining up to sign? Yeah, didn't think so. It's almost like the narrative some people push doesn't match reality. Shocking, right? These athletes see something completely different from the tired old headlines. And at the end of the day, their perspective is what truly matters.
Like I've said, there's so many pros to playing for the Indiana Fever. The pros being that you get more attention, you get more endorsements, you get a chance to win, you get fans on the road or away, or at home. All these things come to you when you're playing for the Fever.